Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kristen and this is Growing Zone 9B. So a little update, we had a little incident last night. This is not the first time that we've had these matters. Little Betty, who is my oldest rescue dog, had another seizure. So she's been off and on having some seizures. And so she ended up wetting herself during the seizure, and so I had called my vet and told her what's going on. Because of Betty's age at this point in time, if the seizures become more frequent, we are going to address the matter in a different approach. But right now she kind of gets seizures infrequently. She was, like I said, a rescue dog, so we don't know a lot about her past, but I can tell you that when she went to the rescue, she had a big tumor underneath her, and yeah, it was crazy. So long story short, they took care of her, and because we got her at a little bit of an older age, we actually got Betty between the ages of 6 and 8 years old, according to her paperwork. My vet definitely felt like she was maybe closer to like 4 or 5. But that's just guessing at her age. So anyway, so I don't know if any of you have pets out there or whatever, obviously do what your vet tells you to do. But little Cake, I didn't, I just wiped her off last night and just kind of sat with her and just wanted to calm her down and not give her a bath at that time. So obviously when I got home today, I knew that she needed a bath because she wet herself. And so my vet had said, because she's got some dermatitis too, like I said, she is a little bit older. So they said to use 1 part vinegar with 2 parts water and add just a little bit of Dawn soap to get that smell and, that itchiness and stuff off of her from her wetting herself. So today we are going to give Betty a bath. So not an exciting thing, but we got to take care of our little rescue babies, and like I said, poor little thing, she is older, and I just never know how long I'm going to have her, so I try to take care of her the best I can. Honestly, we kind of switched food. They're dry kibbles. Now, I do make their food. A lot of people have asked me for the recipe, so I'm going to need to share that recipe with you guys. It is, I'm going to say, my own recipe because I did a lot of research. I had a dog named Jake, and he had cancer, and basically the vets gave me, he was a German Shepherd, he was also a rescue, and the vets gave me literally like a week to 2 weeks for him to live. And I was like, that's insane. Like, you can't tell me this dog is this sick. Like, no way. I took him down to an emergency like vet place that did more like clinical type work for like cancer and stuff like that. Anyway, they wanted $10,000 to start the treatment, not completion of treatment. And I was like, no, listen, I don't want him on doggy chemo. I just want to basically figure this out on my own and do a holistic approach because being in the field of death and dying, obviously I know quite a bit about the realm of death and people dying, and I am not in hospice care. I serve in a different realm of death and dying when it comes to the therapeutic component. But anyway, the point of the story is that I learned about this process called the Gerson diet, where basically they start doing a lot of like natural healing processes. And so I started making Jake's food for him. And okay, so I gotta interrupt this story because here's the vinegar that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use this cup. I'm gonna pour a whole thing of vinegar in. Well, mostly a whole thing. And I'm gonna put it in this pitcher here. And then I'm gonna dilute it with water. For her so that we can get that like urine scent off of her and kind of treat her little bit of dermatitis that she has going on. I'll actually do like 3 cups of water. It doesn't hurt. It's just diluting it down. well, 3 of these cups, these mason jars. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of Dawn soap in it. Not too much, just to give her a little scrub. Anyway, so yeah, so Jake was like sick, and so I started making his own food. Bring you guys down so you can see little Betty while she's getting a bath. Sweet little thing. Yeah, so I started doing research, and I found this guy that had been treating his dog for cancer, basically, and like started buying all these like herbs and mixing it into their food and stuff. It was to the point where I literally was like getting apples, like organic apples, and peeling them myself and putting them in Old Trusty, which is my food processor, and just blending up his own food along with, I had a Bull Mastiff boxer mix also at the time, and I started giving them their own food instead of doing like the kibbles. They still had some kibbles, but not a lot of kibbles. Now I've kind of been honestly not as vigilant in that process, and so with Betty having these seizures, it concerns me because I have been unfortunately giving them more. I'll put that in the dishwasher in a second. I have been giving them more kibbles, and so I think that that definitely plays a factor in potentially her seizures right now. So I am going to start going back and like really being much more or much better at giving her the natural foods. Now they do get chicken. I just peel it off. We get it from Costco. We get the chicken, and I give them chicken. So they do get chicken. I'm just not making that really strict diet for them. So I'm gonna shoot a video with you guys, and again, it's my own recipe. But we are going to, so don't, you know, you need to do what your vet tells you or whatever your research tells you. But I will share what we're going to start going back to, because I can tell you that when we did go through that process of treating the dogs naturally and like giving them natural food like the farmer's dog does, basically, they did so much better. The farmer's dog is a little bit costly. And so I had to, you know, I have to find my own ways of making dog food work for them. So we get rotisserie chicken from Costco. I pull it all off the bone. We get like four chickens like every week. And I mix it in with, I do some rice, and we do applesauce or apples, try to get it as natural as possible. That's not always the case. I can't always do that, but I do try to get as much as I can in organic form. We put a little bit of oats in there, some carrots. We do a lot of just fruits and vegetables. If I have some stuff growing in the garden, I'll mix that in, and they love it. I try to keep it like pretty much like raw, so that way they're getting a lot of like healthy stuff that they need. I also mix quite a bit of vitamins in it. I buy the vitamins in bulk, and I can show you again what that looks like, but just giving you a little update on what's been going on here and like what's happening right now, and just trying to help this little baby out. So, you know, she is my sweet girl, a little cake. I do love her deeply, so it would be very sad if I didn't have her. You know, pet losses to me would be like losing a child, because these are my kids. I love them. And so you just got to do the best you can for your pets. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but I certainly do. So I just want to share this moment with you guys and just let you know what's going on. That, you know, again, life's not perfect, and, you know, we have to find ways to not only heal ourselves, but we also have to try to be diligent in healing our pets, because they need it just as much as we do, or otherwise we see these types of results. Now, I'm not saying that her seizures are a result of the dog food, but I am saying that I do know she does so much better when I'm feeding her natural food, and so do the rest of the dogs, honestly. Luna, not so much. She's a wild child. The other day I had put some compost out, and she was out there just eating it, just eating the compost. I didn't have even a chance to turn it over. I went to go get the shovel, and before I knew it, she's out there just like mowing down on the compost. And I'm like, come on, Luna. I mean, it wasn't anything that would hurt her, but it's like, come on. Like, this dog would eat a garbage can. She chews shoes. The other day, she chewed, like, I'm not even joking you, like 5 pairs of my shoes. She had pulled them out of my room and was like just completely, like, I came home and she had mowed them down to nothing, basically. So I gotta keep my door shut now, and she has a little cage that she has to stay in. She needs more like structure and stuff, and she's got toys, so again, don't feel bad for her. We play with her. She's just a very wild dog. A Boston Terrier, to me, this is the first time we've ever had a Boston. She's wild. Like, she's really something for like a younger family, you know, somebody who just like likes to jog or run, because she really needs that constant exercise, and she loves like constant attention. Now Tiffany, my pit, she is very much a couch potato, and I love her for that. Like, she's very loving. She is probably the sweetest dog, one of the sweetest dogs I have absolutely ever owned. I have owned another pit bull in my life, and her name was Mouse, and honestly, she was like number one to me. Like, when she got sick, that's like a whole nother story, but when she got sick, I had spent a lot of money. When I say a lot of money, I mean people could buy a car, okay? And they ended up they had to remove her spleen, and they ended up sending it up to Texas A&M for analysis. And honestly, before we really got the results back, I had to take her back down to the vet, and she had to be put to sleep. She didn't make it but like a week after the surgery. So that did not save her or help her. So, you know, unfortunately, you make the best decisions that you can in the moments that you're in, and you think that you're doing everything you can to heal your dog. But, you know, it's like a human. Sometimes you make choices during the death and dying process that you think are the best choices at that time. And you know what, they end up passing away anyway. So, you know, just keep that in mind, is don't hold on to that guilt, because you can only, you know, be where you're at in that moment with the knowledge that you have. And so don't hate yourself for having to make choices in life. You know, this is the hard part about life. I always tell my clients that, you know, death is life for me, honestly. Like, death teaches me to live. You know, being around death quite a bit or people that have died. I've had people die right in front of me. So, you know, I'm a little more numb to it, I think, than the average person, and talking about death is obviously what I do, so I can just easily off the cuff talk about people dying, and it's not that big of a deal to me anymore, just because this is kind of what I do. So, you know, it's like it's life. So anyway, so it's not as taboo as it used to be talking about death, but I will definitely say that we are a society that has not opened our hearts or our doors to people that have gone through the death process or experienced it, or the person that's left behind is what I'm referencing. Because, you know, it's a lot of hurt, it's a lot of heartache oftentimes. You know, and I've gotten a lot of mixed situations. I've had people that are glad the person died, and I know that seems like a really harsh thing to say, but reality is sometimes when you see someone that you love suffering through like a drug addiction, or, you know, just something really very horrible and traumatic, because I am specialized in trauma care. So when you see something very traumatic, you don't want them to suffer anymore. Like, you come to the point where, yes, you know you will miss them, but at the same time, to watch them suffer, that's a heartache and a component that a lot of people just, it's too much. It's really hard. And, you know, and those people only go through it like maybe once or twice, right? You know, you watch that. But for someone like me, I see that much more often, pretty frequently. And so I've become a little more numb, like I said, to it. But I'm not numb to the point where my heart doesn't still go out to the family and the people that are involved. I love those people. I love on them. You know, I share my positive energy with them and just try to be with them during those moments. So anyway, this has kind of gotten off the track of like poor little Betty here. But the point is basically, you know, make sure when you're growing that you are also including your pets in that growing and healing process, because growing Zone 9B is not just about being outside and growing in the garden and being in Zone 9B. What growing Zone 9B is about is growing through this journey as an entirety. So you can, you're growing through life, and that's the components that I just want to talk to you guys about and work with you all on, because like I said, not everybody can afford therapy, and I understand that. And so we're just at a different point in our society where I think we're recognizing that there's been a shift in the mentality and a shift in the way people are thinking. And I definitely see people in more need of what I can offer to them. And so I just want to be able to reach out to a different type of audience and really provide some support and love to you all. And yes, a piece of that is through growing, through health, through my pets, and through the knowledge that I've gained through the years. So if you are an individual who is going or know someone who is going or needing a healing process, one of the books that I have on my shelf at work, and I don't have it right here with me, it's called The Gerson Diet. And so, just food for thought, take that into consideration. Another thing that I know, I've heard some other people kind of like talk about, but I know it's kind of like whatever, do what your doctor tells you. But I would just say, if I knew people and they might have done this, I'm just putting out the name. I'm not telling anybody what they should or shouldn't do, but it's called Essiat tea. And there's also the moringa tree, which is the tree of life. So I have a moringa tree. It is growing out in my yard, and the purpose of the moringa tree is, it is exactly what it says. It is very healing. It is very detoxifying. It can be a little bit hard on the body, but it is worth growing here in Zone 9B because you want to get those beautiful minerals and nutrients in your body that you need to support yourself. So in this video, I will go ahead and put up the information of the words that I've used, and hopefully I won't get in trouble with YouTube about it, because I know they're really like, you're not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, so I'm telling you, I'm strongly urging you to work with your naturopath or your physician or whoever you have chosen to work with if you're going through any types of issues. This conversation was really geared more towards just show your love, be kind, have empathy, and take care of your pets as you would take care of yourself, because they need that healing nutrients just as much as you do. All right, everyone, I hope that this benefited you all in a little bit of, some sort of way, and that you will come back and join me in the next video. As always, love one another, be kind, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right, so bonus. Vinegar serves many purposes. So I love having vinegar in the house because white vinegar, as I showed you earlier in the video, we buy it at Costco. We get it in the big containers, and vinegar is really important, especially if you're a caregiver or you have an elderly pet like I do, because vinegar is going to take out the urine stains and smells, and that's really important. A lot of people that I used to work in a nursing home, and so I didn't clean, but like the staff would, and the nurses and stuff would use a lot of vinegar when cleaning. And so basically you're gonna take 1 part vinegar to 2 parts of water. So I need to wash Betty's little blanket, or her little pillow. I call it the princess pillow. I don't know if you can see it there, but when she had her seizure, it wasn't a lot, but she did have a little pee-pee accident. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in the wash machine. Most people would be like, I'm just throwing that out. Good for you. If you've got the money to do that, that's fine. But reality is that she is an older pet, and this is not the first time that she's had a seizure, and this is her favorite little pillow. So I'm not getting rid of it for that reason. And so honestly, all I need to do is just drop it in our washing machine. And I am going to not only use a little bit of Lysol, I am a big fan of Lysol, but I'm also going to throw in a little bit of vinegar. Now, if you only have one or the other, then you choose what is best for you and your family. But the research that I've done, and I have seen many accidents, so to speak, especially in the field of death and dying. Anybody that's ever been a nurse or someone who walks through that process, they're going to tell you that people are going to have issues when they start to go. So using vinegar is an awesome cleaner. So just a little bit of, you know, tidbit for today is I'll be washing her sheets, her little pillow and her sheet. And so I will be dropping in, I'm personally gonna use probably 2 cups of vinegar, if not more, in the wash machine, just to really get that out and to make sure that it's clean. So just didn't know if you guys maybe had that little bit of information or were looking on how you could maybe do a good cleanup. Now, she has had an accident on the floor too, you know, just because, like I said, she is getting older. And so a good way to clean your floors, if your floors can clean that way, is just to add a little bit of vinegar into your mop bucket. So if you have carpeted floors, I would definitely do a spray a little test patch that nobody could see in case it did bleach out. But I do know that in the past, that's what I've used. I do have a carpet cleaner machine, and so I've literally it's like a Bissell or something, or Shark, I don't know which one it is, but it's like a handheld kind of like carry one. And so I have actually added about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of white vinegar in the machine itself, and it's never, thank the Lord, it's never harmed anything. And I've cleaned the little spots where, because I have some throw rugs and stuff, so if an incident or an accident occurs, or like the nephews have spilt some food, so I'm like, let's just clean it up. And so when it gets into that carpet, thankfully I have darker carpet, but I just go out there and use my little steam cleaner, and I just add a little bit of vinegar, and it really takes that scent out, especially if you have pets that might have an accident, or even an adult or a child that has an accident like that, you know, a little pee-pee accident. You can go ahead and use some vinegar. That's always been a good thing for me. But again, you do your own research. You do what is best for you and your family. I'm just sharing with you what we have found to work around here. So hopefully it does help you guys. All right, as always, love one another, be kind, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.